Bro, what is this production?
Oh!
Oh my god. That nigga got his brain.
And the thing that I really appreciate about Tank is he's a dog. That kind of that what he just said. You can put them earmuffs up and go at it. He kind of will assess you as well, and whatever he needs to do, he'll do it.
Jake Paul has responded to the newly circulated training and sparring videos of Gervonta Tank Davis on social media, and everyone is raving about his response. As he gets ready for his next battle, Davis appears sharper, faster, and more explosive than ever in the video, leaving supporters wondering if Tank is reaching his prime. In the lighter class, Davis has established himself. He has never formally weighed more than 140 pounds in professional fights and last fought weighing between 133 and 135 pounds. Paul, on the other hand, is a natural cruiserweight who usually fights in the 200-pound area. He recently weighed that much in a battle. This is a difference of multiple weight classes, not simply a few pounds. A lot more factors are involved when the disparity is that large. In terms of strength, durability, punch-absorbing capacity, and leverage, the larger fighter frequently has an advantage. It becomes more about who can take a beating and still be productive than it is about skill alone.
Something else that's unfortunate is the idea that Jake Paul might actually fight Gervonta Tank Davis. This can't be real. When it came up a couple of months ago, I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to cover this because there's no way there's no way they're really going to do that because it makes no sense. Why would you do that for him? Outside of it, like, okay, you can look at it like an exhibition, which it will be, and we'll take a look at some of the rule set for it. But Gervonta Davis is one of, if not the best, biggest names at 135 pounds and is an active in his prime fighter. I don't want to hear the similar to Floyd and Logan thing because at that point, Floyd was retired. Floyd had done all he needed to do in the sport. Tank is still in his prime, still has multiple high-level opponents that he needs to fight. And you can say, oh, you know, the Jake would be a one-off. Side quest. That's fine, but that just tells me that Tank doesn't care about being a high-level champion in the sport anymore.
Carmel Moughton recently reflected on a sparring session he had with Davis at the age of 15 or 16. Although he acknowledged that he was first anxious, he claimed that the session swiftly evolved into a chess match. Timing, pace, and counterwork are more important than just power. Davis never tried to knock him out with full force, according to Moughton. Rather, they engaged in a calculated interchange of rhythm and angles. He claimed that Davis's strength was apparent. However, they were back and forth in terms of sheer skill and speed. Moughton described the encounter as enjoyable, difficult, and a crucial turning point in his growth as a combatant.
What was it like when you sparred him? I know you sparred Tank early on. Yeah. What was that experience like? Like, replay that experience for me. Like, you coming out of it, what was your thought?
Yeah. I was nervous at first. I think I was 15 at the time we sparred, so he wasn't really like trying to knock me out or nothing like that. But we was going like, he was using the speed on me. Like, we was both like going speed for speed, and it was great. It was like a chess match.
Did you understand in that moment like why he is who he is?
Yeah. I seen why he's able to beat these guys. Then I also seen why I'm. I got all this hype around me.
Davis's choice to enter an exhibition with Jake Paul was justified by Sean Porter, who contended that critics fail to see the wider picture. Porter sees the fight as more about providing Davis and his family with financial stability than it is about demonstrating his superiority in the ring. Since it's an exhibition, the primary objective is entertainment, and the hazards are kept to a minimum by established guidelines and safety precautions. Porter highlights that fighters frequently have brief careers and need to seize chances that offer both financial gain and publicity. According to this viewpoint, Tank Davis's acceptance of such a bout is not a sellout, but rather a move to safeguard his future while entertaining his supporters. Porter's remarks emphasize striking a balance between fighters who need to consider their lives outside of sports and purists who desire legacy.
So, they're trying to make it safer and, all those sorts of things, but there's still this pureness to boxing that really doesn't exist in sports anymore, but it's still there with boxing. I think that's why people have such a problem with this kind of move from Tank Davis.
Is it more the heart? How do you guys feel being boxers?
Man, like once you hear the numbers, I'm like, they're talking like, I don't know the official one. They're talking about like 100 mil.
Oh damn.
Like, they're talking about these insane numbers. Like I'm gonna be like, don't take that. I'm not gonna tell another man not to take that type of check, especially for something like that. It's not on your official record. It's an exhibition. I'm not gonna lie here and act like I'm not gonna say yes to 100 million or something like that. But I do see exactly what you're saying about the essence of boxing. I wish they would kind of separate a little more, because exhibitions have always been a thing. There's always been an argument.
Right.
But they're just selling it like a real fight almost.
Right.
So I think that maybe if we could create a better like distinction, the more of a difference.
Right.
There might be less hate on it, but at the end of the day, man, I'm not going to tell Tank not to take that fight.
And I said this last year. I said, create a influencer title. And let those guys fight over there in the influencer world. They can live the world and the life of I'm a world champion without having to do something like this. Now, the issue for this that I have is you have a legitimate 135-pound champion fighter getting in the ring with a 190-pound guy, whatever it is that Jake Paul is at. So now we already let's really answer this.
On the other hand, many people think that this discrepancy turns the fight into a show rather than a genuinely fair or competitive boxing bout. Even with all the hoopla, it appears that even promoters are recognizing this. Because of those risks, special safety regulations are being implemented, such as a catch weight of 195 pounds, the usage of larger gloves, and viewing the match as an exhibition. For them, the fact that Gervonta has faced world-class fighters is more important than weight in this battle. They envision Davis darting in, throwing clean punches, and making Jake appear awkward despite their disparate sizes, even though Jake's resume is based on his lack of experience.
Comment about it. My question is, what's the rules, and like, are they gonna actually try and knock each other out? Because it's gonna be a glorified sparring match. I'm not watching, dude. I don't give a fuck.
Jake's gonna have a hard time hitting him.
Yeah, big time. Gervonta's so fast and skilled.
Gervonta's gonna eat his.
I thought
guts.
Jake was gonna fight Anthony Joshua. That seemed.
No, that was actually getting.
That sounded more
craziest
interesting.
idea I've ever heard. Jake Paul trying to fight Anthony Joshua is, crazy.
Not a sanctioned professional bout. This means the fight will not count towards either fighter's professional records.
So it's still being finalized.
Yeah, I don't like that.
What is so behind the scenes? You think there are things like, hey, we don't punch each other in the jaw.
Yep. Or don't go. We can punch in the face, but don't go for broke. Like, don't knock me out.
Really?
Yeah. It's an exhibition.
That's not very interesting to me.
No. Until I find the rule sets, but when I hear exhibition, I'm like, okay.
Jake is bodied up, man.
He's big.
Yeah.
Probably has 100 pounds on Gervonta.
Maybe. I'd say Gervonta probably walks at 150.
Oh, he's so small.
So small. I mean, he's really small. Bring up Gervonta Davis next to Floyd Mayweather, because I've seen Floyd in person, and he's tiny. You've seen Floyd in person.
I've worked with Gervonta and Floyd.
Tiny.
Well, Floyd likely has shoes on there.
Oh, dude, he's so small.
He's tiny, guys.
Yeah. I mean, he's so small. Wow. Great fight.
Chael Sonnen recently called Jake Paul's choice to switch the focus from Anthony Joshua to a bout with Gervonta Tank Davis disappointing, saying it fell short of expectations. Tank isn't inherently good at promoting fights or creating anticipation, according to Sonnen, unlike Paul. Although he lacks the commercial instincts that Paul has developed over the years, he lets his fist do the talking inside the ring. Even while Sonnen respects Tank's indisputable fighting prowess and reputation, he feels that the event wouldn't have the same impact if Paul hadn't been able to create buzz and media interest. According to Sonnen, Paul's marketing campaign is more important to the match's attraction than the actual fight between the two competitors.
It is the exact opposite of Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul for 2. So the fight that was being dangled and rumored in front of us, the exact opposite has happened. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is not fighting nobody. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is fighting Tank Davis. Okay. So there's one big glaring issue for me. It's just your partner being Tank Davis. Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. It could be a title fight, a contenders fight, a main event fight. He could be the favorite. He could be the underdog. Tank doesn't know how to bring that information to you guys in a way that is compelling. And Tank is already blinking in this situation. You have one guy who is argued amongst the pound for pound current greats in boxing. You have another guy that has suggested he should not even be allowed to box, that he should have to call it something different. He should not be licensed. He should not be ranked in the top 14. He should never be selected for a world title. Okay. Now, Tank has one job to do, which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport.
Davis's opinion of Jake Paul, meantime, has obviously changed. At first, Davis treated Paul like a fool in the boxing world and publicly mocked his claims, dismissing him as nothing more than a boisterous, attention-seeking spectacle. Davis gradually changed as Paul started to take training more seriously and acquire credibility. Since then, he has praised Paul's dedication, mental toughness, and work ethic in the gym. Davis has recently seemed receptive to the prospect of a bout with Paul, even though he still doesn't think he's elite boxing stuff. Influenced by Paul's ability to attract attention in public. What about Jake? What are your thoughts?
How about Jake? What do you think of Jake?
Clown. He's a clown. I know that Jake can't fight. He can't fight. So
would you look at it as a joke if your team was like, yo, we want you to fight Jake Paul? Would you be like,
yeah,
man?
I laugh at him. You want me to fight him? At first, I didn't like how Jake Paul was coming because of how he was making it look. But now that I see that I feel as though he's still a clown because that's his personality. I'm starting to respect it because he's not doing it like for the hype. He was really like trying to be a boxer. I think that he's decent.
Yeah,
like he's good. I mean, he's not good, but he's going that way.
Is he better than you thought he'd be?
Yeah. Gotta be mentally tough to be in a box. So that's why I don't take that away from some fighters or some people that want to jump into the sport. So just show how tough you are. That's how it should be.
Particularly following Jake Paul's resounding victory over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., his level of respect in the boxing community has significantly increased. Massive commercial traction was indicated by the Anaheim event, which broke the venue's gate revenue record and eclipsed concerts featuring elite fighters. Paul is now seen by prestigious individuals like Oscar de la Hoya as being serious about boxing, implying that he could actually compete for world titles. Even Manny Pacquiao agreed that Paul's commitment cannot be disregarded, notwithstanding any remaining reservations. His technical credentials was further enhanced by the battle, as observers noted his capacity to remain composed in a hostile setting and dominate the ring.
Canelo Alvarez fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. We promoted that fight many years ago. Didn't knock him out, couldn't hurt him. So imagine if Jake Paul can hurt or even wobble Chavez Jr. It's something that Canelo didn't do or couldn't do. So Jake Paul, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., it's a real fight. Yeah. Look, people keep talking about Jake Paul, well, he's not a real fighter, this and that. Well, he's fighting a real fighter now in Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. It's going to be a good test for both guys. Obviously, Jake Paul, he's a masterclass promoter in what he does. He's been doing some great things. I mean, Mike Tyson, 60 million people. Fighting Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who, when he trains, when he gets in shape, when he's focused, he will be dangerous for anybody. Look, Canelo Alvarez fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. We promoted that fight many years ago. Didn't knock him out, couldn't hurt him. So imagine if Jake Paul can hurt or even wobble Chavez Jr. It's something that Canelo didn't do or couldn't do. So there's a lot of stories to come out from this, a lot of great stories for Jake Paul. So I just feel honored and proud that we can team up with MVP Promotions, with Jake Paul, and we can make Zurdo Ramirez with Torticos the mandatory. That's going to be a bloodbath in itself. So we're excited.
According to Jake Paul's official announcement, his second chapter in boxing is just getting started. And this time he's going after actual boxers in the division. Paul said after fighting Andre August that he is now concentrating on the conventional boxing approach, aiming directly at respectable professional fighters, and is moving away from crossover or MMA opponents. In a CNN interview, he went all out, saying he intends to take on everyone, especially the biggest, most difficult fights where he is the underdog and can prove himself in the ring. This determination is evident in his interviews and public appearances. By facing respectable opponents to demonstrate that he belongs in the top tier of the sport, Paul hopes to transcend theatrics and genuinely create a boxing legacy.